Hello, my sweet little angels. In today's episode, we talked to John A. Rice, author, artist, and creator of the new tarot deck, Mindscapes Tarot. We talk about tarot cards, intuition, honoring your ancestors, and the art of creating a tarot deck. I'm Lauren Leon.
And I'm done hiding now. I'm shining like I'm born to be.
Wow. We are a married couple learning how to develop our own intuition. This is episode 81 of Clairvoyaging.
We're going up, up, up.
This is a moment. Gonna be golden.
Yeah.
Gonna be golden. Oh. Wayfeather Media presents Clairvoyaging.
Hello, puppies.
Hello, sweet babies.
How's it going today? How about us? Me and Lauren?
We are great. We're so good.
Permanently tired, super late to Legoland. And yeah, it's okay. Here's a new episode.
We're going to Legoland today.
We are.
Our first time.
And when we say today, we don't mean that we recorded this 3 weeks ago. We mean today. On release day, right after we finish recording, I'm going to go edit this and we're going to Legoland.
Sorry it's late.
Sorry
it's late, little babies.
Seat of our pants right now.
We're still adjusting. It's been a long adjustment. And that's okay, you know?
Grace.
That's part of grace.
You'll learn about grace today when I complain about the word. That's
part of being transparent and fully open and vulnerable. I look like a trash can.
I'm sweating. Did anyone know that San Diego is humid and hot? Listen, not complaining, but boy, it's an adjustment.
There's a heat wave happening right now.
It's more of a humid wave.
Yeah. But like, you know, a lot of places in San Diego don't have air conditioning because they're like, you don't need it. This is the beach. But we needed it yesterday. We probably need it today.
My brow disagrees.
Our poor kids they're sweating.
We had one of those old window air conditioning units. I just installed it this morning, which is one of the reasons why we're late.
Yeah.
But in their room, they have the window where it fits, so they get the special treatment. And mom and dad get the swamp box. That's okay.
We get to just walk into their room and say, "Oh my God, it's so much cooler in here than everywhere else."
the kids, the dog, they're all hanging out in the other room.
Yeah,
it's fine.
But you know what? They get to sleep, which is that's the most important thing. They're not waking up. Hopefully, this is the first day.
We'll see.
But hopefully, they won't wake up saying, "I'm so hot." Anyway, hi everyone.
Hey.
Okay, so today's episode is with John, and we heard about John from our friend Adrian, who we met in Duluth at the Duluth Film Festival.
Adrian's the greatest thing that ever hit Duluth, and she's not from there.
Yeah. We became fast friends with Adrian. You might remember her from our 50th episode. It was our Halloween special, and we did a tour of the Glen Sheen mansion. And we learned, before doing that, we quickly learned that Adrian has mediumistic abilities.
She see the ghosts.
She see the ghosts.
She see them real good.
All the time. But it was just a really fun, serendipitous thing. Of course, nothing's a coincidence. And it was great to meet her. And she was like, by the way, my best friend, John, is creating a tarot deck. He's an artist. And we were like, well, let's have him on the show. And we finally did.
Well, he finally released the deck.
His deck just came out a few days ago.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful.
It's so cool, guys.
It's so cool. It's really fun.
Are we posting a link in show notes or anything?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
I don't know what, in the link, I haven't seen where you buy it or anything, but I don't know if they have photos of all the pictures of all the cards, but man, oh man, there are some beauts in there.
I mean, look up Mindscapes Tarot. John A. Rice Mindscapes Tarot, and you'll just be like, oh, okay, yeah, this is gorgeous.
Yeah.
And
And we're not getting kickbacks or anything, by the way. We're just fans here. It's very nice.
Truly, like, just so fun to talk to someone who spent so much time creating their own tarot deck. Like, what a special, cool thing.
Took them 5 years.
Yeah.
I don't want, listen, no spoilers. Go listen.
Yeah.
Go check it out.
Come on. Hey,
Hey.
Yeah. Wait, the episode's right after this.
Please just continue.
Maybe, you know what? Maybe just start it.
Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead. You first.
After you.
Let's let it rip.
Yeah, let it rip. John, thank you so much for joining us on Clairvoyaging today. Finally, we get to meet you. We're so excited about that. So you made this beautiful Mindscapes Tarot deck, which I have right here. And can you tell us about how you got into this, a little backstory, background about you? Tell us about John.
Sure. Well, a lot of people have been asking me lately how I got interested in tarot. And to be honest, I don't really remember. Like, I'm a Libra who leans Scorpio, so I've always been interested in like weird dark things, like ever since I was little. So tarot was always sort of on my radar. And then around 2018, my partner Kevin gifted me my first tarot deck, which is called The Wild Unknown by Kim Krans. And I had heard, I guess, like an old wives' tale that if you receive a tarot deck as a gift, you have to learn to read it. So coincidentally, at a party a little later, I met this woman named Lorraine from Italy, and she is a prolific tarot reader. And she said, "Hey, do you want me to mentor you in tarot?" I literally don't even think she charged me. I think I like gave her some money, but it was just this like beautiful relationship over one summer where I would go to her house every week. We would sit, and she had this incredible treasure chest filled with tarot decks.
Wow.
She must have had like 100 or like 150. And each session we would read with a different deck, like once we had kind of gone over the basics. So I got this huge overview of tarot art from all over the world and all different artists, all different cultures. And it made me realize, like, I kind of want to do this for myself. I want to put my stamp on the genre. And I guess I never realized until that point that fine art and tarot were aligned in that way. Like, I didn't realize that was a thing that artists did.
Yeah.
And then when the pandemic happened, I had been professionally doing a lot of TV and film up until that point. That's how we met our mutual friend, Adrian. And all those avenues sort of dried up. So again, it was my partner, Kevin. He's really behind all my good ideas. He was like,
he's a puppeteer.
Like, he is like the mastermind. Like, I just dance for him. But he was like, you need to start putting your art online. And so at that point, because I had all this time on my hands, I started illustrating the tarot deck, started posting it online, and it just took off and kind of got this life of its own. And I've been doing that professionally ever since. That's now like my bread and butter. It's my 9 to 5 is fine art. And yeah, that's brought us here.
That's so amazing. I love that. Oh my gosh.
It was kind of wild how it happened.
Way to go, Kevin.
Yeah, I mean, truly.
So first of all, like your art background, how long, when did you first get into fine art, and how you seem, I mean, looking at your pictures here, I don't even know if I should call them pictures. I'm not from
your little doodles, your little drawings.
This is a really nice sketch. And
scribbles.
They're incredible. And like, you clearly have been studied in some way. So what's the story with that?
I've just been doing visual art as long as I can remember. It was like my first artistic love before I did writing, before I did acting, all the things that I do now. Visual art, that's like my core memories. My mom used to have like art class with me where we would go and we would sit at this little like, I'm not sure what it was a very specific material. It was a little art table that I had. Do you know, for mica, it was like this ugly beige color, but all these like flecks, these like sparkling flecks in it, and it was rimmed in like metal. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. You see a desk like that, you know it's time to party. Yeah.
It is like a distinct memory in my brain. But anyway, we would sit at this table and have art class. And I remember being like 4 years old and I would draw my favorite Disney characters or like Sonic the Hedgehog or whatever it was. And I would create these stories out of them where I would literally write the story that went along. I would like basically create my own illustrated books. And my mom still has a lot of them, but I think because of the way I was raised, it was never presented to me as an option for a profession. Like I never even had in my head that a visual artist was a career. So it was something I never pursued in that way. Like I took art classes in grade school, and I'm sure that I learned a lot in those that I now just take for granted being able to do. But I didn't go to fine art school. I just always did it for me in my spare time. But even hearing myself tell this story, I realize I think that you even see that like storytelling aspect in the art that I do and in the tarot deck. I feel like
absolutely.
Yeah,
as I'm saying it, I'm like putting the pieces together. I'm like, oh, so that's what I'm doing. But
The branches suit for specifically, like it was one of the suits where I'm going through your deck and I'm like, oh, this is a whole ass story.
yeah, even the way it's laid out. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I'm obsessed with it. I think it's so cool. I had my mom over this weekend, and I was like, "Mom, look at this." I always quiz my parents. I'm like, go through this suit and tell me, like, what do you see? What do you feel?
Your
Are your parents interested in tarot, or are they this is another weird interest our child has taken on? We're just going to smile and nod. Oh, okay.
They never like had even seen a tarot deck, I feel like, until we started talking about it.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, I grew up Catholic, so this was all like, don't touch that stuff. But now they're like coming around to it, like, oh, it's pretty cool.
But your dad, like his dad was like doing really great intuitive interpretations of cards. He was like, well, what I see here is this man looks, really sad and he's lonely and maybe he's done something wrong. And he was like,
I get it, Dad. I get it.
Why not? Yeah.
And maybe he should get a job. And, what? Dad, stop.
Looks like his name is Frank. And
I love to hear that. That's great.
Yeah.
With this deck that people would just be able to, I actually have it here in front of me too. Because I did a little card pull for us. We can get into later.
Ooh, fun.
Oh.
But I hope that people would just be able to like look at these and instantly feel something. And that is the right answer. You know what I mean? Just like, what do you see? Yeah. Whenever I'm giving a tarot reading, I always start with asking people that. I'm like, literally just name out loud the things that jump out to you that you see first. And then that's always like such a good way into the card intuitively.
Yeah.
Right.
So, okay, when you were illustrating these cards, how did your connection to your intuition play a part in the story you wanted to tell? Or
actually, I was going to ask that question, but I have a pre-question to that.
Okay, great.
Were you a spooky person ever before you started or handed a deck?
Yes. Like I said, I always sort of leaned into that Scorpio nature. With Adrian, our friend, I would write horror movies. That was what I did for 15 years. And they always had like the psychic character, or like the Ouija board, or like some aspect of that. I've always been very intrigued by those gray areas in our lives, like where I think it's much more interesting what we don't know than what we do know. Like that's always where the interesting stuff happens, in those like spaces of mystery. So yes, I've always been interested in that. In terms of how I used intuition with this deck, I have always, we're about to open a little like side channel here, but I've always been able
to love to do.
Only side missions.
Very nonlinear, so I've gone many side tangents. Yeah.
Well, this tangent is very, I think, aligned with your podcast.
Great.
I've always been able to envision these things in my head just instantly. Like, I don't know where they come from, but like, I can just shut my eyes and picture like 5 different art pieces that I could make right now. They just like instantly appear. And for the tarot deck, once I decided I was going to do this project, all 25 of the major arcana in one afternoon, actually, I think it was like 23 out of 25. I just like in an hour, I just knew what they were going to be. And so I just hurried up and I wrote notes in my iPhone so I wouldn't forget them. And then it took 2 years to make the major arcana, but I never deviated from that original vision. And the things that you see in front of you are literally what appeared in my head on that first day.
Wow.
And so when I say that this opens a little side quest, in doing the tarot deck, I have been introduced to a lot of different esoteric communities, including a spiritualist community called Lilydale upstate. Do you all know about this?
No.
It's a town. It's a town of psychic mediums. Like literally everyone in the town, pretty much everyone, is a medium. They're all spiritualists, and they all believe that everybody has the ability to commune with the dead, with the beyond, and receive messages if you just get quiet enough and kind of tune your mind to the right frequency.
Yeah.
They call what I do channeling. I hesitate to use that language, but there are definitely people who consider my artwork in general channeled, just because of how I receive these visual impressions. And in terms of like artistic process, it's really important to me. One of the tenets of my whole artistic life is that I don't question these images. I just put them down exactly as they appear. As tempting as it is for my overthinking brain to want to move this bush over here and like alter these little things, like, no, I always, even if I don't agree with it or don't like it, I always just put it down exactly as I see it. So that's something that is a through line for all of my art.
Wow, that's so interesting.
So does that answer your question and open other avenues?
Yes. It does. Why do you hesitate to say that it's channeled?
Well, like you, Frank, I grew up in a religious atmosphere. I grew up in a Baptist church, and I just struggle with religious language in general.
Me too.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I have like a knee-jerk reaction to it, and I definitely did that thing where like I left the church at 18. I had been going literally like every Sunday till I was 18. Then I moved away and became like a heathen, and then became like a complete atheist. Like literally, I was like these fucking idiots. Like, oh, can I swear on your podcast?
You're fine.
I was like, but like truly, it was like the worst kind of atheist, where it's almost like as bad as the fundamentalist, where you're like, these people are so stupid, they don't know. And then I feel like as I get older, you like realize the truth is actually somewhere in between those things.
Yeah. In the day, like you said.
So I still struggle with religious language a lot, but it's valid. You know, I would maybe use a term like inspired artwork, but that's just my own, like I said, it's just my own stuff.
I was telling Lauren, like literally a couple of days ago, I was like, oh, I need to give myself a little more patience. I guess the word is like grace, but I don't like that word because I grew up with that meaning a whole bunch of other things. And I mean, one of the big struggles, even when we started this podcast for me, was like the concept of angels. I'm like, oh, okay, come on.
Yeah, right.
And now we've talked to so many people that I'm like, oh, cool. Yeah. Like angels for sure. But I was like, I told her, I'm like, I'm excited to get into this podcast and like talk to some people and learn about things, but I'm going to have a hard time with angels. Let me tell you. And I don't. But honestly, for the same reason of like, I have a lot of deprogramming to do.
That's exactly it. It's deprogramming. That is such a good word for it. And so much of it is semantics too, like angels, but then you have people talking about like guides and ancestors, and those are much more like palatable to me for some reason. I mean, they're not
new.
Yeah. You know, they're not any less like woo, but
for sure.
Yeah.
They're words that don't have like historical or like, I don't know, maybe even a trauma attached to its meaning you.
It was hijacked meaning.
Yeah.
Lots of baggage.
Lots of baggage. At least for us.
Yeah.
So Lilydale.
Yeah, we gotta make a trip to Lilydale one day.
You said that's in upstate New York?
Absolutely, yes. It is in upstate New York. It's like Western New York, so by Lake Erie, like that sort of area.
That Lake next to Lake Erie is a very funny place for a psychic city.
Perfect.
We're gonna just pretend like we're okay with the term channeling. So you're channeling these things.
That's good. Yeah.
And
downloading, channeling.
Sure. Yeah.
Let's use all the terms.
And so you're getting these like visuals in your mind's eye, and then you like just hold on to these things until you actually get them on paper, or what's up?
Yeah. So sometimes I'll do little sketches. Sometimes like I said, I'll write notes in my iPhone, and like truly detailed, like bottom right corner, there's a trash can and it's blue and purple. The shadows are purple, like really detailed. So I remember later. But it's like, yeah, I have this little list in my brain of artworks that I'm going to make that have just come to me. And, I try to freeze frame them in the moment. So I remember what they are, but yeah.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, for example, the Wheel of Fortune, what's it called? Rider Waite is.
We don't talk about that one on this show. No, not today. There's only one deck as far as we're concerned.
I know, it's true. Can you, like, so for example, for this, like this spider with a spider web appeared in your mind, and can you tell me about like the symbology of this one especially? Yeah.
So with the Wheel of Fortune, it does. My cards do align with traditional. I use that term loosely. Traditional Rider-Waite-Smith imagery. In some ways, I mean, that was definitely like the core system that I learned, and then you kind of can do your own thing with it. And I tried to leave it up for interpretation. But in my mind, the Wheel of Fortune is all about surrender. Like, if I had to pick a keyword for that card, it is like, no matter where you are in the wheel, sometimes you're riding the highs and sometimes you're at a really low point. It will always change again. So it's like, you kind of just have to give in to the moment where you are. And I used the spider web because it's really strong and it's also really fragile. And I imagine it's like, sometimes you're the prey, sometimes you're the spider, but like you can see there's little parts of the web that are kind of like messed up or destroyed or like repaired, and then there's you can see like little insects wrapped up in it. And the way I've suspended the spider web over the rushing river, it's just precarious, right? Like there's no solid ground to be found in the scene. But there's also like the rainbow at the top. So it's this play of opposites, because it really is just about giving into where you are and going with that flow of life and kind of going through those moments, like you said, Frank, with grace and acceptance in a way. That's what that card is to me.
That's so beautiful. Damn it, John.
What was the original? What is the original medium? Like, how did you initially make these?
Oil pastel.
Okay,
that's my traditional. That's my main medium. Mm-hmm.
How big are the originals?
5x7 ish, like 4 point something by 7.
It's so cool.
We've just like stared at these cards, like they're so pretty. I hope
people use these cards for meditation. That's like one of the my individual wishes for this deck, is that I really want people to spend time with it. And I've seen it's funny because people do these unboxing videos. It's like a whole thing in tarot. And there are some videos where I see people, they flip the cards really quick and they're like, this is the Queen of Wands, this is what it means, this is the Wheel of Fortune, this is what it means, this is the Ace, this is what it means. And I'm like, oh, that's fine if you want to do it that way, but take time with it. Just spend time with these cards. I want seasoned tarot readers to be able to look again at these archetypes that we know so well. Like, that was one of my goals with this, is that not only can beginners just look at it and instantly be like, oh, the Chariot, I get that there's movement and momentum, but I want people who know the cards to have to look also and kind of relearn them or like reassess their own definitions of them.
Right. I mean, that makes sense. Especially when you see something so many times for so long, you start to not even see it anymore, you know?
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Like bringing a new visual to like these old meanings is so important. And especially if it was, channeled, like you said, you brought all of this like new ways to interpret into it, and it's so nice. How long did it take you to just like make one? How long does it take?
It varied. The first card that I ever did was the moon, and it is the least detailed of all the cards because I didn't know what I was doing at that point. So I just did a thing, and it took like 8 hours.
Wow.
The other cards took much longer, especially like you'll see they can become very detailed. Like by the end, I would say that I would spend like a couple weeks on a card, just sketching it out and like testing colors and figuring things out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
8 hours minimum. And people are just flipping them. Oh, look at this one. Look at this one. Look at this one.
Yeah. That's what I mean. So yeah, there's a lot of thought that goes into them. And I hope that people give them the same amount of thought when they're reading them.
That's like fast forwarding through the Beatles discography and be like, I don't see what the big deal is. They sound pretty good, I guess.
Yeah.
But then a lot of people do get it. I have to say, a lot of people also do take their time and they go into the paintings and really understand them.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing I want to ask you about is your suits are uncommon. Was that another like channel thing or
no?
Wait, so what the suits are because I saw
we've got spires, branches, stones, and what's the other one?
Spires, branches, stones, and tides for cups.
Tides, right?
Okay.
Yeah. They all correspond with the traditional suits. I hate it when people change suit names. I literally, it bothers me so much, but I tried to figure out a way to make those names work for this deck, but it just didn't. Like with the landscape imagery and stuff, it was the traditional names were too human oriented.
Interesting.
Like when you have like swords, if I'm thinking like how does that manifest in the natural landscape?
Right.
It just didn't fit. Like I gave it a lot of thought and I changed them. So now I'm one of those people.
That makes sense. I don't know if, I got to remember this is a podcast, not always visual. The majority of these are landscape focused. They're landscape oriented. Mm-hmm. God, I'm just looking at your judgment card. I love that one so much.
Oh, thanks. New Orleans. Have you all been?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, that was
one of my favorite. That's one of my favorite places.
Same.
Frank has a full episode. It was like a storytelling episode after he came back from New Orleans because you had a tarot card reading. That was profound.
That's like my first professional tarot reading.
And it was
that's cool.
Yeah. That trip shifted something.
Oh yeah, for sure. In
your heart,
in that little tiny heart of mine. So yeah, I mean, I was looking at this and I was just obsessed with it. I'm like, that is it. I don't want to say a perfect card even. It's just a perfect image that you created. You brought something amazing into the world there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So that's that.
New Orleans is also a very profound place. I also had a profound experience in New Orleans with a reading, although it wasn't a tarot reading. I got my coconut shells read.
Say more.
By a voodoo priest named Charlie.
Oh my God.
And,
love that.
And it was really profound. It was really revelatory. Like, he said that I had a presence with me. It was an older female presence who had died 10 years previous. And through conversation, we determined it to be my grandmother, who I had a lot of guilt associated with her passing because I was in college at the time. She got sick around Thanksgiving and I wasn't home and she had passed by Christmas. So I literally, by the time I got there, she was in hospice, unresponsive. I was there. I said my words to her in her ear. But it was not the ending that it should have been, Mm-hmm. And so I definitely had a lot of unresolved feelings and emotions with that. But Charlie, the voodoo priest, picked up on this and he was like, she's always with you. She's always in your corner, but you need to acknowledge that presence more. And he showed me how to do an ancestor service. which I had never even heard of before, honestly. Um, and he was like, just go home, put on some music that you and your grandmother would have listened to, or put on a movie that she would have liked, eat some of your favorite foods, light a candle, just talk to her as if she's there. And at the
Mhm.
time, I left, and my very skeptical, overthinking brain was like, okay, well, this, everybody has a grandmother who passed, like it.
Right.
But I went home and I did the thing, and regardless of whether or not you believe that you are actually communing with spirits or just your own subconscious iterations, it was such a moving, emotional experience. I have ancestor services literally all the time now. I have
Wow.
I have a little box that has little tiny pictures of all the people in my life who've passed who've been meaningful to me, and I will often at holidays or on birthdays I'll like select one. I'll get their favorite food. I'll watch a movie that they would have liked. Sometimes I'll even dedicate my daily art practice to one of them, whose traits I would want to embody that day. It's become a really important part of my spiritual practice.
Okay, I'm trying to not get emotional, but today's my
You're
my
allowed. It's an emotional thing, and I highly
yeah.
recommend. I highly recommend doing what I just said.
Yeah,
It's
today's
very
my
healing.
brother's birthday and he
Mm.
passed 20 years ago. And
Oh, I'm sorry.
so every on his birthday we always do sorry.
No, it's
It's just
okay.
like funny timing that you brought that up because we always do like my daughter was like, "Oh, we got to get maple donuts for Uncle Ian's birthday."
Mm-hmm.
And we always do like a
Yeah.
lot of things that he would have enjoyed and we like celebrate him. We say like happy birthday, we do a little cheers.
Mm-hmm.
So I love that. It's like just kind of perfect. Of course.
Yeah.
There
It's
are
so
no
important.
coincidences that you know mentioned that, but yeah, it's so cool and it's such a great way to like keep their memory sorry,
Mm-hmm.
keep their memory like present and
Yeah.
keep their like legacy or their story alive, especially with younger ones or people who didn't know them, stuff like that. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's so cool.
It's also so I'm in the middle of reading a book about like doing that, like what you're saying, like I don't know what to call it, ancestry reverence, I suppose, like making
Sure.
like a little bit of an altar.
Mm-hmm.
I love that you have. Can you explain your setup again, real quick? You have a little box with the like pictures in it. Yes, you have. Excellent.
Since you ask, we're in my art studio right now, so I have it handy. But
Perfect.
so I have this little box. Actually, this was gifted to me by Adrian. We're
Okay.
very connected. So it's
Love
this little
that.
box, and it's just beautiful. There's like some herbs in it. There's a little essential oil thing, but then it came with this little picture frame, and you can see little. Well,
Oh,
I have all these little
Yes.
pictures of
Oh my
people who
gosh.
are important to me, and so yeah, I'll select one or a group of them and put them in the frame, and then I have my little candle that I light, and yeah, it just is right there on my shelf while I'm working. This is where I work, where I do all my art.
I love that.
Wow. That just gave Frank some ideas.
We've got the perfect little box for this. It's already right over there. I have a whole thing for it.
Yeah,
It's literally where I
but
keep like my sage and like my like house smudging things and my cleansing things and a couple like crystals and stuff like that. And I'm like, where am I going to set up this? Like, I didn't want to have like a permanent like ofrenda, basically, like from. But
right.
I was like, where do I keep this stuff? Because yeah, like one of my grandparents, I'm just getting into like being a Reiki practitioner, and
Nice.
one of my grandparents did like healing hand stuff in Cuba, and I'm like, oh, I should probably like talk to that guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like, yeah, I wanted to do exactly that, and I love this format. That's perfect. That's like
You can get a little cigar box.
Oh, what an idea!
There it is.
There it is. Thank you. I'm sure.
No,
I could probably ask my dad. He probably has a box of Cohibas somewhere or something that I can. That's perfect.
There you go.
Yeah.
Very
It is
cool.
important, though. It is important. I think these little rituals, like I said, regardless of what anyone believes, you're taking thought and physicalizing it in the world, which just has so much power. And I don't think people give it enough credit. And we certainly don't practice ancestor reverence enough in this country.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
I mean, we see how we treat our elders generally here, but it's so important in other places in the world. And I get it. Like, I understand why.
Yeah. I mean, you're carrying so much story and history and trauma with you from your ancestors. And
right.
I think part of like healing that is paying attention to it and giving it some kind of like honoring. Because I think you were pretty like resistant to kind of like digging up stuff. You're like, why do I have to do it?
Well, listen, I grew up in America, so toxic individualism is built into my bones. Okay, now, and also as someone who like tries to live into my own personal sovereignty and all of that, I'm like, and who didn't really have like a really established relationship with the majority of my grandparents for various reasons. It's like, well, I don't need that stuff anyway, right? But then I'm also just not respecting the entire story of how I got here and what I'm about and what I'm bringing into the world, at least from a very foundational, like genetic level at the very least. So like acknowledging, and then that's not even to mention what they did with their lives. And I'm on both sides. There's immigration that occurred, and it's I can't just like ignore that, Right. And with that immigration came along and what I wish I had more access to is some of that folk magic, some of that like cultural, it's like they came to America and then there was a connection that was lost at some point, and now I'm just a clean slate of cheeseburgers and and I'm trying to tap into I'm very much like culturally just straight American, right? Even though my dad like was born in Cuba. So there's a part of me that almost feels like if I were to inherit some of those, and then my mom's side is from Scotland. There's a part of me, if I'm like, oh yeah, I want to get like some Celtic tattoos, or like if I want to I don't know, like practice some like Santeria or something. It feels inauthentic to me because I had never had any real access to that. The foundation.
You don't even put like Hispanic or Latino on your like applications or anything.
I do sometimes if I really want the job.
Half Cuban. I'm always like, what? But Frank, like, he's like, I don't know. I just put white.
Yeah, because culturally, I'm not. Genetically, I am like a mixed. Yeah. So the whole thing of like on a foundational level, like at least I know for sure on my dad's side, the Cuban side, there was a little bit of like folk magic and healing stuff. And if I don't have the cultural element of that, I can still ask for the help. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah.
So,
and also, it's not about like, it's not about being beholden to the past, because like the story is now yours to take in whatever direction you choose. Like there's nothing wrong with eating cheeseburgers and living your American dream or whatever it is. But, but it's more recognizing that you are continuing a story that was going long before you were around, and you're going to leave something for your chosen heirs long after. So, I if that takes the pressure off, I hope.
Yeah.
And I just love your setup, and I'm going to copy you. Sorry.
I hope you do. It's really lovely. I mean, it makes it so much more intentional each day to do my work and dedicate that practice to the memory of somebody. Especially if there's some trait that I want to embody. If like I know that my great grandmother worked her ass off. So like if there's a day where I wake up and I'm like, God, I don't want to sit and do this today. Like, great grandma, give me that energy. Like, we're going to dedicate this practice to you, who would like, even when she had like lost her sight, was like blindly like cutting the noodles for the dinner. You know what I mean? Like, it's that sort of thing. And like, then I have friends who are like creative engines and they pass, and I'm like, okay, I need some of that like creative inspiration today. So it really is like a lovely intentional practice. And I hope that it is meaningful to you too.
No, that's That's really great. I love that because I've heard people say like, oh, you know, we had a guest and I can't remember who it was at this moment, but they said they had like, oh, I put my grandfather on my spirit team and because he's really good at business, and I put this person on my spirit team because they're good at this. Might have been Lucy Jane. But anyway.
Oh, that's right. I was like, she's one of the few people I'm like, wait, you're in charge of your roster? Like,
you're choosing your like spirit team, like lineup. Yeah. But the way you're putting it just helps me because there's like a tangible, there's a practice to that helps me put the intention in there with like, I don't know, the physical thing of your box and the picture and going like, okay, I'm going to choose you to like I'm going to draw inspiration from your personality or your like these traits that you strongly have that I maybe don't as well as you do.
Sure.
Yeah. Sure. I love that.
Just to remember where you came from.
That's great.
So, I mean, you got your first tarot deck in 2018. I mean, if I'd be like, oh, I'm a baby witch. I'm a baby witch. But you're already like making your mark in this community, right? Mm-hmm. What's been like the thing? Has there been a thing that has like helped you in your like practice or your development the most, aside from like just studying tarot like you did?
Well, illustrating a deck for 5 years gives you a very deep understanding of the cards in a more intimate way than like I ever thought possible. I have such a profound respect for tarot now. It's really fascinating doing any project for that long, but like especially this that deals with all these archetypes and these situations that come up over and over again in our lives. Because innumerable times I would be illustrating a card and then something would happen in my life and I'd be like, oh, well, I'm right here where this card is. And you just realize how much wisdom is encapsulated in these little 78 cards. It really is a distillation of like great wisdom from thousands of years ago, like it truly is. And when I say it really does offer solutions for every problem that you can come up against in your life. Like it's all there. And that's really shocking to me because it's easy to just be like, oh, tarot, like it's a fun game or like, no, it's legit. Yeah. There's like so much thought and so many hundreds, thousands of years of like the human condition put into these cards. It's really startling. And like when you really start to study it.
I like really do. I like to study people and their decision making and all that stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And like I am unable to psychoanalyze the tarot deck. I'm like, I don't know where this came from. This is next level shit, right? It's not that simple. I like a part of me always wants to be like, well, in any given situation, there's only a couple of choices you could make, and they're all listed here. And nope, there's a lot going on here. It's way more than that. It's not that simple, and it's always exactly what you need, which is like the most amazing part. I love it so much.
So while you were illustrating them, there would be things that you're like, I'm learning, I'm getting the same message from this one that I'm working on. Mm-hmm. Just like it always feels like serendipitous, but
all the time.
The messages are coming through while you're working on them.
Yeah, it happened all the time. And oh my God, I would be like, there's a card for everything. I think that's the other thing. There's like a card for every situation that you can be in. I'd be like, oh, well, I'm in the, 7 of Pentacles today. I took a class during the pandemic from Harvard online. It was on predictive systems. And a whole section of that class went into like the history of tarot and astrology and where all of these wisdom traditions and divination systems met, like back in the Fertile Crescent. And it really did allow me to realize that back then people would, come to oracles, almost like people go to therapists. Like they would
Yeah.
come with their problems, and eventually, like, these people figured out the right ways. There are certain ways to live your life that just are better than others. And I
Yeah.
feel like that wisdom is like carried through in all these different traditions, and now they're distilled into 78 cards. But it's immense. I'm still surprised by it.
Every day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes even when I'm just not feeling great, I'll just grab my deck and I'll go to like pull a card and I'll get distracted. But sometimes just holding my deck makes me feel better. I'm like,
it's like you're a blankie, like your adult blankie.
Yeah.
it's a little bit of a blankie. Yeah. Let's ignore my history of codependence. It's fine.
Are any of these meant to be, or are they meant to be read upright, or do you do reversed at all?
I personally don't do reversals in my own readings because I tend to talk about the reversals anyway. Like, I tend to, when I'm explaining cards to people or reading, I tend to give them both sides of it anyway. But there's no right or wrong way. I mean, people can read reversals if they would like.
Yeah.
I've started to actually, when we pull cards, I've started to read both the upright and reversal because it feels like the entire picture. It feels like it gives you like the here's where you're at and here's where things could be different if you do the thing or whatever it might be, right? Like it's like the total picture of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
I'm now understanding. I just realized the title of your deck, Mindscapes, because you said they show up in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
And actually, Kevin came up with that title.
Kevin!
He's responsible for all my good ideas. I'm telling you, he really is.
Kevin.
He's just the man in the chair. He's sitting behind you with his fingers like this.
He's like, it was like Oz.
Yeah. He's like, next, John, you're going to do this.
John, you don't need a deck.
my.
Just ask me, Kevin.
I know your next move.
The mastermind. The mastermind.
That's amazing.
John, do you use your own deck?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was just shuffling.
Yeah.
Is it interesting to use your own deck? Or I was talking earlier about like, especially with Rider Waite, we use these cards all the time, and it's like, oh, I've seen this, and you like forget to like really look at it. Do you like look deeply into your own pictures?
Yes, because I think because it is such a non-traditional system. When I'm doing a spread, I still do have to think about how the cards relate to one another and how like one might be informing something else. But also, this deck is still pretty new to me. I've only had it in printed form for like a little over a month. So I haven't been able to read with it for that long. And so I am learning with it too.
Yeah.
But I do like the way it reads. I definitely can get really good readings out of it. And I've been getting really positive feedback from others. So it's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wait, what was the card you pulled though?
Okay. So I woke up this morning and I was like, I've been in kind of a little bit of a funk lately, which is so crazy because I do have the deck that just came out. I have another book coming out next month, but I've felt like a little bit in like a nebulous area. And I was like, I'm really in like a moon place. With the moon is like the dark night of the soul. It's about unknown, mystery, and having to just put one foot forward, one foot in front of the other to just keep going and trust that what is waiting on the other side is right and worth it. But you have to keep moving forward, even when it feels paralyzing and scary. And I was like, I'm going to pull a card for this podcast. And I shuffled the crap out of this deck and I pulled the moon card. Isn't that wild? I split the deck. I shuffled it in two piles. I cut it multiple times, and that was the card that was right on top.
I would say it's wild if it hasn't happened to me 100 times before.
I know.
That's true. That's true.
Like the thing that shows up is the thing you're like, of course.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
One foot in front of the other.
Yeah. So that could be the card
that resonates
for
with me though, because I've felt that same feeling that you were explaining in the last few days too.
Mm-hmm.
Where I'm like, I came home from a trip like 2 days ago and I was like, I don't know. I just have this I had this pit in my stomach, like I was alone without any plans. And I was like, who am I? You know? Also,
you should call Kevin.
I know.
I'll
Kevin
call
over
him
here. Kevin, what do I do next?
Well, I think I also saw something like astrologically. There's a lot like the beginning of August is supposed to be too busy, too we're over committed kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So and overwhelmed. So I'm no astrologer, but I would imagine that might have something to do with it. And on top of all of that, you just dropped a deck.
I just dropped the deck. It's that old saying, jump in the net will appear. Like that is the embodiment of that card.
John, do me a favor, tell everybody where to find you and what your upcoming projects are.
How to buy this deck.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, so the deck is available wherever you buy books. You can get it. I encourage people to go to their local indie bookstore or metaphysical shop. You can ask for it if they don't have it. But you can also find it, at the big ones at Barnes & Noble and Amazon, blah, blah, blah. And you can find me mostly on Instagram. It's just my name, john.a.rice. Facebook, my website is www.jarstudionyc.com. But Instagram, I would say, is where I mostly post my stuff. That's sort of like my portfolio, I would say. You can find me on TikTok if you're young.
Or pretending to be, like me.
Or pretending to, exactly, yes. And then in terms of future projects, I have a book coming out next month. It is called October Shadows, Classic Ghost Stories for Halloween.
Oh.
And I actually have that. I have a copy of that right here too, which I can show you the cover of. Can you see that?
Oh my God. That looks amazing. What? That's beautiful.
It's all illustrated on autumn leaves. So I don't know if you can see that. Let me find a good one to show you.
Are these original stories or are these collected stories?
No, like this is The Fall of the House of Usher by Edgar Allan Poe. So can you see this? Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's all on autumn leaves. And there's 15 stories, 15 different original illustrations. I'm super excited about it. I think it's gonna be really cool.
That is awesome.
Yeah. So, and the publisher is Abbeville Press. They're great.
Yeah.
They're an art book publisher, and they bound it in crushed black silk. Like, I don't know if you can see. It's stunning. It's like just a beautiful book. So if you like Halloween, you like heirloom book keepsakes, October Shadows, Classic Ghost Stories for Halloween. And then I'm actually working on a new card deck that is all channeled artwork from the Mediums cabinet. We didn't even talk about this.
The Mediums cabinet? What is this?
So the last time I was in Lilydale, God bless them.
Like an actual cabinet, like a spiritualist cabinet?
Like a spiritualist cabinet.
Yeah.
These are automatic drawings from seances that I had in Lilydale. There's so much to talk about. We need to come back for like a part 2 or something. But
we do.
I have a deck of cards that is all automatic drawings during those received sessions, during those seances.
What?
Yeah. Actually, I don't know that I've told anybody about that yet, so you might be the first to hear about it.
Clairvoyaging exclusive. Very cool. Oh no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, I feel like maybe it would be fun to have you and Adrian.
Okay, why don't we get you back on to like push the book a little bit, and we'll have Adrian on too. You guys can
tell us about the cabinets.
Cool. Yeah, I will. Yeah, it's sort of its own unique story, but also again very aligned with what you guys are doing here.
Oh, so fun!
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm excited about that.
We'll get a little more like spooky.
It does get a little more spooky. Yes, it does.
Okay.
It's funny too, because I was going to ask you if like you still, because a lot of times people get into like, more esoteric and woo woo stuff. Mm-hmm. And then they just stop liking horror. And and I think Ollie and I are the opposite. I'm like, oh no, I love this stuff. Like, scare me. But sometimes especially if I'm watching like videos on YouTube or something of like this spooky thing happened, like top 5 scary things that happened this week. And And I'm watching that stuff, and I'm half the time I'm laughing. I'm like, that ghost just wanted to say hi, and you're all scared.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, oh, that's gross, but
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm still a big horror fan here. You know what it has done? It has made me, like, when I'm writing a horror script or something, if I'm writing like about tarot cards or like a psychic, I'm like, damn, I know that's not real. I know that's not how it works. I know tarot cards aren't gateways for demons. Like, I can't use that anymore as like a horror movie trope.
Yeah.
So it is kind of, you know, you kind of have a deeper respect for a lot of things that are just very casually tossed around in horror. But no, I still enjoy the genre.
I will say that we've been in like one like writer's room. It was a loose room for writing like a horror script, and I was like, oh, let's give the big bad like some good motivation here. Like, you know,
we were bringing like the true paranormal like element to the writer's room.
Yeah, it was like, here's probably what happened to your ghost. Like,
they're just misunderstood.
Like, he's a demon. We were like, well, no, this was a real person who, like, whatever.
Reacted to trauma.
To trauma. Yeah.
It's always trauma.
Yeah.
All right, John, let's catch up really soon, and we'll talk more. It sounds awesome. And thank you for joining us today.
I mean, it's my pleasure. Thank you so much for speaking with me.
Thank you.
Of course.
It was so great to meet you.
Again, thank you for sending the deck. It's beautiful, and everyone go get one. Mindscapes Tarot. Go pick it up today.
Thank you, John.
Thank you both so much.
Thank you for listening. Visit clairvoyaging.com for merchandise or to access free resources to help you on your spiritual journey. Subscribe to our Patreon for more content or join for free to chat with us. Clairvoyaging is a fiscally sponsored project of Fractured Atlas, a 501c3 charity. Make a tax-deductible donation to support our mission to foster understanding, respect, and curiosity for diverse spiritual belief systems. Clairvoyaging is a production of Wayfeather Media.